Well, hey everyone, welcome back to another Wildwoods beekeeping chat, and it's good to see some familiar faces in the chat. And we are outside. I had to get all this rigged up, cameras and stuff, and we're in the great outdoors. So it's good to be with everybody here today. Hope everybody's having a good day, good Monday. And we've been busy around here on the bee farm. A lot of things happening, and it's just been pretty busy time since it's July, and we're still trying to get things situated. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about proactive bee management during a dearth. So managing bees during a dearth. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I've been having some problems with this dearth. Hives being robbed out. I'm having a lot of beetle issues, and beetles are terrible right now. And I'm going to tell you guys a story about what happened with some beetles in the hive, and the hive absconded. Y'all stay tuned for that. I'll talk a little bit about that later on in the live chat. I got some announcements about the channel, where the channel is growing. So I got some things that I do want to announce on the channel. I'm going to wait for some more people to come in. If you guys would appreciate anybody who shares the live chat out. That helps this live chat get out to more viewers. Hopefully it'll help people. If anybody has any questions, please do feel free to ask them. That's what I'm here for. Help people out and learn. That's what I do, these live chats. But like I said, we've been busy trying to get things kind of situated for, summer. It's hot, humid. It's really not really fun time of year. We're having beetle problems. I still got to test for mites, but I have not been getting around to it because, of course, since it's so hot, don't really want to be going to each hive testing mites in the hot. So I'm trying to pick a day during the week that's the coolest you can get to, because down here it's pretty hot, and we have problems with the heat. It gets kind of hot down here, and yeah, that's kind of how everything plans out into that way. But we're doing that, and we're doing more queens. We're on our next grafting. I took a break a couple weeks just to, give it a break. And I'm trying to figure out different genetics, which one's better at drawing out cells. And I'm using one of my Russian hives. If you guys remember, I made a whole bunch of splits. I did a video on that. I would appreciate if you guys go check that out after the live chat or tomorrow, whenever you want to. That's a good video that talks about making 2-frame splits. We made a whole bunch of 2-frame splits, and that's what we're doing there. Yeah, it's 109 heat index down here in Alabama. It is pretty hot, but anyway, we're doing that, grafting and getting queens ready. Try to do these queens for splits, because all my splits down at the Creek Bee Yard. The Creek Bee Yard's where I keep some of my hives. That bee yard is doing okay. It's been not really as good as it was. I had a hive down there that got robbed, hive down there that absconded because of beetles. We'll get into the story later of what I was trying to do, but they absconded. Who knows where they went, but I always say that it's probably good that they did that. So then they just didn't want to be with the beetles. They said, hey, we're going to check out of here. We don't want to be with these beetles. See, it's too much a problem. And that's just kind of how it goes out. Beetle problems is just really annoying. It's just not fun dealing with them. But I put beetle traps, like beetle, I forgot what you call those. Beetle barns. I'll put those in there, and more beetle traps. I forgot what they were actually called. If I can remember it in my head, I'll try to discuss something about that. It's just something that you stick in half. You put oil in it, and the mites will fall down in there whenever you put it on top of a frame. It goes between the frames, and then people pretty much know what I probably mean. I just forgot the name of it. Sorry about that, but hard to remember everything. But we're grafting. I'm making queen cells for actually putting them in my splits. Blaster, that's right, Beetle Blaster. That's what we're using, Beetle Blasters. Thanks, Jeremy, for reminding me. We're grafting, and that's what I was going to say was that what we're doing is we're actually putting, I'm trying to get these queens grafting. I actually did 10 grafts. I have about 6 or 7 right now. So that's about a 60, 65, 70% take. Hey, I'll take that any day. I think, a lot of times people want to be perfect on it. but you don't have to be. It's not like something that you have to know it. You have to get 100% take, because it is not necessary. Plus, this is like my 20th time doing it, 25th. And there's times where I don't even get a single queen. I don't even get a single cell. It just happens, and I try to deal with that. It happens a lot of times. Good to see you, Douglas. Thanks for checking in here. Glad to see a lot of familiar names in here. These loft traps have been growing, but I'm trying to put some of these cells in the splits down there, because they're getting kind of small, and those queens didn't take. And a lot of times, I want to go ahead and take this question right now. And this is a question I got about making those splits. If you like I said, if you guys remember, I made some splits a while back, 2-frame splits, and it was like mean have, and a lot of times, and there's a lot of people asking, why would you generate more mean bees out of that have? And what I want to discuss is that have that you have that is mean, that queen probably mated with other drones. You know what I mean? It's probably 100% Russian, but whenever I make virgin queens, right that moment, she's gonna have, I would say 100%. You know, but most of the what she lays really depends on what drones she mates with. If she mates with all Italian, it would probably be somewhere around 60% Italian and 4% Russian, or 50-50. If you guys kind of know what I mean by that. That's just kind of how it would play out. But I just wanted to answer that. And there's just a lot of different things that go into that. Might as well say it's sometimes, a lot of times, people don't want to deal with mean halves. But like I said in a lot of comments, I answered. And that video, for some reason, got about 2,000 views and 150 watch hours. I don't know if I really appreciate everybody who viewed that video. That helped the channel out a lot. But it did real good, and you know, I do appreciate that. But I answered a lot of those questions because there's a lot of comments on that video as well. And for me, I'm a 7-year beekeeper, and I've been keeping bees a little bit longer. So if you are a brand new off the bat beekeeper and you get that hive, I would 100% say you probably would want to requeen them, because it may be too mean for your liking. And a lot of times, you know, that'll happen. And, you know, if you guys have questions, I already see a couple questions in here. We'll go ahead and take them. I got some topics later on discussed, and I got one announcement for the most part. So everybody here who wants to hear the announcement for the YouTube channel, y'all please stay with us. And there's a little bee flying around the camera. These are following me over here. It shouldn't be no problem. Let's see. All right, here you go. From Rachel Gullett. How you doing? Hey, I have a hive that is hot. What should I do? And let's see. So with a hot hive, like I was talking about, it depends on if you like it and you are okay with it. If you say, okay, I can deal with this, then you probably would want to keep it. And I always judge on the brood pattern. So if your hot queen, may be laying like a spotty brood pattern, you can 100% really tell that you don't like it, and you go and do it. Don't like it. Yeah. So in your case, since you don't like the genetics that go along with that queen, what you can do is you can put the hive tool test on that queen. You'll take a hive tool and basically smash her head off and kill her. Sorry, that sounds kind of brutal, but that's just kind of what you have to do it. But you just kill the queen. You can either buy a queen. If you know how to graft and make your own queens, you can go to one of your hives and graft into another hive and do it like that way. It really does turn out pretty good. Then you requeen them. And the requeening process is, I have a video up if you want to go check that out, a couple videos back, and it's real simple. Whenever you have your queen cage, depending on if you made a queen and you put her in one of those Jeezy Beezy's queen cages, you will make some candy, put it in the hole, put it in your hive, leave it for about 48, 72 hours, come back and see if they released her and see if she's laying. If she's not laying and they killed her, you're going to have to reintroduce a new queen, and you're going to have to do that before they get a laying worker. And laying worker is really, really frustrating to deal with. It's really aggravating. So everything that you can do to prevent that is really good. Of course, like I said, I always say it that none of us are perfect. We can't keep the bees. The bees will do what they want to do. So, but I've got a lot of laying workers this year. Let's just admit I've really been dealing with earlier laying workers. It's weird, kind of how that happens. You're welcome. But that's just what you kind of do in that scenario. Whatever you want to do with that, you can requeen them. Don't worry about killing her. A lot of times, new beekeepers will, worry about killing their queen. If it's a queen that you don't like, you can do whatever you want with her, and you can kill her and requeen her. I think that would be the best option. If you don't like them and you don't want nothing to do with their genetics, go ahead and throw her away. I think that'd be one of the good things to do if you don't like the queen. In my case, my hot hive, I can deal with their temperament. It's not like I can't deal with it. So if I couldn't deal with it, I'd go ahead and kill the queen. But that queen is just too good for me to pass up. She has a good brood pattern. I can deal with her spicy bees, let's just say that, and that's just what I keep them. And also depends, so I must say this, that it all really does depend on how big your hive is. If you have them in a double deep, it's basketball clusters. If you have double basketball clusters, bees are going to be much more defensive because they got more brood to protect. They got more honey to protect. They got more things to protect. They got bees to protect. They got the queen to protect. But if you narrow them down to a single, they'll be less agitated. I just found that a good tip to get, pushed out there to some people who want to requeen their hives. Try, maybe, doing something about them, maybe shrinking them down. If that does not work and it's just impossible to calm them down, go ahead and get rid of the genetic. That's pretty much the only thing you can really do. This is a good question, Douglas. Anybody, if you guys have any more questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Please keep these comments, these live Q&A questions coming in. I really like answering them. Let me get to this question. Hey, Douglas, how are you doing? I'm glad to see you in here. A lot of familiar names that I see in the live chats. Grayson, what's your favorite mite treatment? And this is a topic on its own. And about that, it all depends. I've used Abivar. It's one thing I've used. People who don't know about Abivar is a little strip that comes in a packet, and you put 2 per brood chamber. And I like to space them out per free frames. So you'll put one like on the edge, count 1, 2 free. Put maybe about 4 frames. Put a strip in there. Then go a couple more frames over. Put your next strip, and then the bees will go over to Abivar strip and go over that as final, and then that will kill all the mites on the bees, and that should help your population. You got to make sure that you shrink the population down before it gets over top. That's really important. And I got to get some Abivar here soon. I'm out of treatments. I do have some Apigard, but too hot to use that right now. I'm going to get some Abivar, treat in approximately probably July, last week of July, maybe early August, and then right before winter. That's going to be the cycle there. That's going to be a good cycle to go through and memorize that. And that's just kind of what I like. Abivar, I've used Apigard. It does all right. I just really like Abivar. It's just really one of those easiest things, and a lot of people might think different. A lot of times people will like other things, and that's perfectly fine. If you like other things, if you like Formic Pro, if you like some others, Apigard, Hopguard, and I hear bad stuff about it, so I'm not going to go near that stuff. But yeah, that's my favorite mite treatment, basically. Well, here, give me a second. Now, you guys keep on asking me questions, but this is a quick question on cleaning your foundation, and I wanted to bring this up in my last live chat. And as you can see this foundation, guys, all of you in the comments there, look, you see that? See how it's dirty? A lot of times I'll just accidentally throw it on the ground and leave it there, and it gets dirt in there. And what I want to do is I want to clean this stuff up, but I'm not really sure how to. So, I don't want to use any harsh chemicals. So, if you guys have any tips on cleaning all this dirt out of here, I would appreciate that a lot. I think, we learn from each other, beekeepers helping beekeepers. And if you guys have any suggestions on that, I think it'd be pretty cool to see. Because a lot of times, I guess a lot of you beekeepers probably come to a situation where these foundations are just so old and they have a little dirt in there, and I can take a stick and brush it out there. But if I take cold water, hot water hose and do that, it won't really work. I've used hot water. It don't really work either. I still got to figure that out. But I think that'd be power washer. Mr. Ed. All right. I'll try that. And I also watched that video. Thanks, Jeremy. I think that'd be a good watch. You guys give me a second. But yeah. Thought I'd ask that. And it's good to know. Good stuff. But let me go into the details I'm sure y'all been waiting for about the Beetles. And we had a not fun scenario today. And spring is easy. Right now is not an easy time of the year. And I think a lot of times you guys will say the same thing. And I had a hive got robbed, -1 hive. And then today I had a hive that had beetle larvae, beetles everywhere. And the bees weren't even on the frames. The queen wasn't even on the frames. She was on the bottom of the box. And I kind of was worried about that because I didn't really like that. And if it's something about this is whenever beetles lay their larva, that larva will make slime in the cells, and the bees stay clear of it. They don't like it. So you have to let them sit out or something. And I had that trouble. And what I did was I took all the frames out, shook them in a new box where there was no larvae in it because the larvae is all on the bottom of the box. Put some more new frames in there. And I come back to check later and they're all gone. So I think they absconded. So I think they were on the verge of absconding anyway, but we're minus down another half. So at the end of this year, I'm going to average about 12 or 13 halves at the most, maybe more. I just got to, recover from that. Just a lot of things going on with the beetles. What I need to start doing is I need to get more beetle traps because a lot of my disposable beetle blasters, they're all used and, are full of beetles or whatever, dirt, some are still in beer, some are still in use, and you get more and put one in each hive. I'm not good at putting one in each hive. I need to make the habit of when I go out there, bring a whole bunch of beetle blasters out there and put them one in each hive. I think that'd be a smart idea for me to do. And I had a hive that had a lot of beetles in it. I put a beetle blaster in there, and then all the beetles are gone. And the beetles are in the little beetle blaster, so I was pretty proud that it did kill all the beetles. If you guys got any more questions, please keep them coming. That would help me out a lot. And a lot of you guys are probably looking at this, and we're outside right now, and I really wanted to get outside and do a live chat because it's more, I guess, fun to do it outside. Maybe you're outside in the fresh air. It's still daylight right now. We still have a little light, and if you guys see back there, you see that's what makes this thing so pretty. So if you guys really, if you guys kind of like where I'm filming this at, I may do this more often. So I think we'll try to get this out here, do more out here live streams. It's just really good. Maybe, I don't know about the winter because the winter is a little different. Probably have to do them all inside because it gets darker in winter. But during summer and fall, we can do them out here. I think that'd be nice. And it ain't that hot right now. It's about 80 degrees. It ain't that hot, honestly. Maybe it's 78, somewhere around there. And that's just kind of how that's all going out. Do beetle blasters really work better than Swiffer? Well, I've never really used Swiffer, but I want to look that up. I'll check that out. But in my recent years of using Beetle blasters, they really do work good. They'll go on top of the Beetle blaster and fall into the oil that you put in there. So that does work pretty good. And they do work good, in my opinion. It just does do good. Oh, that's a good question. Hey, Sharon, how you doing? How many hives do you have, Grayson? And are you going to get some honey this year? And let me do a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. I'm going to say about 5, maybe 5 or 6 with 7, maybe May Queens. One of those is going to go out to another friend of ours and sell it to him at some point, maybe this fall, whenever it gets nice and strong. The others are splits with that have virgins or no queen or the cell. So that's kind of how it goes. And what else was I going to say? Also about the honey. Spring honey wasn't all that good this year. Sorry to say that, but it just really wasn't. But fall, we're hoping that we get a fall harvest. So that's just what we're going to hope. Well, thank you, Rachel, for the $9 donation. And since she went ahead and donated, I wanted to go ahead and give the announcement, and that's it. That now you guys can, if you guys really enjoy the content, you guys can send super stickers, super chats, and down there to help me support the YouTube channel. That will help me buy more beekeeping stuff to experiment with. I'm looking one day to get a flow hive, so maybe we'll start up a flow hive donation. But I just want to give that announcement out there that super stickers are open for anybody who wants to donate. I really do appreciate anybody who does that. It really is something that I really appreciate. And is there any more questions? And and thank you, Douglas, for the $10 donation. I really appreciate that. It helps me a lot. It helps the channel out a lot. Hashtag Grayson 50. Well, I'm gonna get there. We're gonna try to get up to maybe even 100 one day. I just gotta get things situated, and we're trying to stay on a budget. That's what I'm trying to do. That's why these super stickers will help with beekeeping stuff. So that's pretty good. So thanks everybody who donates. That's really appreciate it. While we're talking, is there any more questions? Please keep on asking some questions, guys. Don't let them stop. Keep on. Fill me in 50 here. I'll answer all 50, even if it takes me 2 hours. I'll answer 50. But now. I want to get to the main topic for tonight's live stream. Here, let me answer this. That's just because you were waiting at hashtag Brian stream team. Yeah, maybe Brian will have to hashtag Brian 50. If Brian's in here right now, I'm expecting him to be at hashtag 50 in a couple of years. I don't know. That's funny. Oh, before we get into the main topic I want to talk about. Hey Tim, how are you doing, buddy? Good to see you in here. How was your honey flow? It was below average. I think Tim, yours was. I think everybody down south and Louisiana, Mississippi, maybe I don't know. I don't know if Bob Benny had any problems up there. I think they had like sourwood and stuff in Georgia, but most of us down south, we had a really tough year. It really just, the honey flow wasn't really exactly correct. We had a little frost in March, so that killed everything. We have a little clover blooming right now. We have some other things blooming, and what I saw was one of these plants. I don't know what you call these things, dandelions or clover, either one. I saw one of those sticking up on the ground right by the beehive, one of my beehives. So that tells me that they are on this stuff, trying to get nectar from that. So we have some things blooming right now. I can't believe that we're having stuff bloom right now. Over here, you guys can see it. There's some flowers blooming. We have roses, and a lot of times beekeepers would ask, can bees use roses? And I've looked that up because I wanted to know, and I can't remember 100%, but I don't think bees pollinate roses. I don't think. If you guys, if they do, let me know. But I don't think they do, because what I heard was that the rose plant on the rose flowers, the nectar is too deep in there, so the bees can't reach or something. If you got, correct me if I'm wrong on that. But that's just kind of how I look at it. I looked that up, and I looked up a whole bunch of different plants, like lavender. Bees love lavender. I was seeing about squash and cucumber. So I saw that bees like to pollinate squash, because our granddad has like a squash garden, and what we're thinking was to move one of my beehives down there to pollinate some of that stuff. See if they would. I think that'd be pretty cool. Monday we'll do that. I think that'd be something interesting. And what I want to do is I want to also, get some lavender planted. And we have the sun blaring over here, so that I think that looks good. Beautiful sunset tonight. Perfect night to be live streaming whenever there's a good sunset rolling in. And, that's good. All right, if there's any more questions, please keep on piling them in. But what I want to do is, and I want to go to the regular topic for tonight, like I said, is proactive bee management during a dearth. And this is a whole different book itself, because managing bees and being proactive at it is really important. It's really good to know how to manage your bees during a dearth. And I don't mean just how to stuff. I just mean like everything, and like, making sure beetles aren't, bad, make sure mites are good, most of everything that you'd want to see. Hey Lisa, good to see you in here. We have a lot of familiar names. Before we get more into proactive bee management, I want to welcome, hey Keith. We see a lot of people in here. We have Randy, Tar Heel Beekeeper. We have Rachel. We got Larimore Farms. I didn't greet Larimore Farms. Welcome. We have Ed. He's down there in Dauphin. We have Sharon. We got a lot of good folks. We have James. We got Bobman's there. Good to see you. I'm doing good, Keith. Been busy like usual. Just been busy. And hey, Sam, good to see you in here too, buddy. Good to see a whole bunch of names. A lot of people jumping in. Didn't expect it to be a busy night, but I guess it is. But anyway, what I want to talk about was management. But first, I want to talk about proactive. Proactive. Being a proactive beekeeper. And I know the stream team, if you guys know the stream team, every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central, they were talking about being a proactive beekeeper, and I really agree on everything that they say. I just want to mention, what does being a proactive beekeeper versus a reactive beekeeper? So the definition of proactive is, what is the definition? Here, y'all give me a second. Hey Siri, what's the definition of proactive?
Proactive means of a person, policy, or action, creating or controlling a situation by causing
gotta make sure I'm telling you guys the right thing.
Responding to it after it has
creating or controlling a situation by causing something to happen rather than responding to it after it has happened. Yep, that's right. That's right. But being proactive is really good. So I'm gonna try to say this as clear as I can. I can go on and on about it, but being proactive is being able to, not get too fired up about it. So a lot of times, like being reactive means you're reacting at that moment, either right then or afterwards. Be proactive. So think ahead of time. So if you see like a small, I'm gonna say it like this. If you see, proactive, fix it before a problem, reactive, always putting it on fire and trying to make it work. That's right. Thanks for letting me know that, because I'm getting everything mixed up. I get everything mixed up all the time. And I do. I try to be honest, Douglas. I try to be honest as I can to everybody. I don't like to hide things. It's one thing, this channel, you'll never see of hiding things. If I have a problem going on, I'll always share that. And the reason is because there's always a beekeeper out there that can help with that problem, can give me more tips on that. And then whenever I get that tip down that they gave me, I can give that tip to y'all. So it's all being helping other people, right? Helping other beekeepers and helping each other along the way. That's the whole thing about the beekeeping community. That's the reason why I do these live chats, to help you, and you guys can help me. That's pretty good thing to have. Yeah, sourwoods are popping. Yeah, we don't have sourwood down here. At least I don't think. I don't think so. At least our elevation is not correct. We did a live chat with Bob Benny, and somebody asked the same thing: is like, where were they located? Somewhere in the United States, and they were wondering if they had sourwood. And I think you have to be at the right elevation and right terrain to have those sourwood. I think you has to be pretty, dead on terrain, stuff like that. But that's being proactive. Proactive. Like he said there, fix it before it's a problem. So a lot of times beekeepers will see like something like starting to form. So if you go into a hive and see that maybe something happened, but it's not really a big of a deal, but you're not thinking really about ahead of time what could happen, that's kind of being I think that's being reactive, or that's right, reactive. And being proactive is making sure and stop it before it was a problem. And that was and I'm gonna admit that whenever that Beetle problem, that's a good example. It probably was a reactive situation. It probably wasn't. I wasn't being proactive on that. I try to be as proactive as I can, but sometimes we have those moments when we can't. And that's one thing we all have to get. So if you have something that happened and you can't do nothing about it, the past is the past. You can't go back and change it. I always say that be honest and share your mistakes. Somebody can help you with that mistake and you can fix it. I'm also going to admit that I don't know everything. I just try to share tips, what I've learned along the way. And that's just pretty much proactive, reactive. The stream can do a very much better job at explaining all of that. I hope I did okay. But what we're going to do is now bee management during a dearth. And during the dearth, you don't have no nectar. So you have problems like being raw, like robbing. You have bees can rob each other. Bees get so desperate because there's no nectar out there for them, but they will go out and rob other bees over nectar. And of course, I got pollen coming in. But thing about it is, pollen helps the bees kind of go into winter, but it's really the nectar. Bees really need honey also to go into winter. And that's a must-have. If you don't have honey, the bees probably aren't going to survive. That's just basic and simple. That's why we always want a fall flow. So then, whenever bees collect honey in the spring during the dearth, they're gonna have to eat some of it, and then in the fall they'll be kind of low on it, and then they'll go out and make more honey and have it for the winter. And whenever we're trying to extract honey, we got to be very looked on to it and make sure that we're not taking too much. Because if you have like 5 supers and you take all 5 supers on a single deep, and that single deep probably doesn't have but 2 frames of honey, I would leave 1 super on there. That's just one thing really good to think about ahead of time before winter comes. It's really before you extract the honey, or you're going to be feeding them, which is fine too. A lot of times you have to feed them anyway. I feed them a lot of times in the winter as well. I'll feed them candy bars. I'll feed them sugar bricks. I'll feed them a whole bunch of different things to keep their protein up and carbohydrates. But yeah. We have the nectar kind of goes out. We have to manage that. Try to keep our hives from being robbed. So you can put robbing screens on. And robbing screens are screens that you put on your hive. Bees, I think, some are made different. They can go up, climb up, but the bees outside try to go in. They don't know their way in. The only bees that know how to get in is to have that the bees that live inside that hive. So that's just kind of how that works out. And while we're talking about nectar, we got a question. I was trying to start some question. Um, let's see here. You got two questions about open feeding. Let me get over here and try to find these. Let's do this one first. Hey, Cottonland Apiary, good to see you in here, and glad you were able to join. How do you feed during a dearth? So during the dearth, like I said, we don't have no nectar. Bees are so desperate. And what you do is set your bird bath, or I'm going to make a video on open feeding here soon, guys. I'm going to show you how I do it, show you kind of how to do it. It'll help you guys out a lot. That will be good. And whenever you feed during a dearth, you'll take a 1 gallon bucket, like in a bird bath. If you have a bird bath like mine, it will be, about this round and about this deep. So 1 gallon of 1-to-1 sugar water, 1-to-1. That's one gallon sugar, 1 gallon water. What you'll do is you will half fit one gallon water. I put sugar in there. You can do powdered sugar, but I really like granulated sugar. I always suggest granulated sugar over than powdered sugar. It's just, in my opinion, better. Of course, you use powdered sugar and dustings, but I really like granulated. I'm just going to be honest on that. I really like granulated. It's just a little bit better. And that's what a lot of other beekeepers will say as well. You'll take that 1 gallon. And also, I put Apis biologics in there. What did I put in there? It was either biocontrol or bioactivator. I forgot. I will make a video describing all this. So y'all stay tuned on the YouTube channel. We'll definitely discuss that about, open feeding. You'll pour it in your bird bath, put sticks, rocks. There you go. I actually did that right before I got on here. I went out there, put some sugar water in the hive, or not in the hive, on our bird bath. And there's some bees over there. I would go over there and show you guys, but I'm not going to go over there right now. I don't want to move all the cameras, get them out of situated. I wanted to leave it as it is, but I will make a video on that. It's definitely good things, and that's kind of how it does. And that should answer your question too, Douglas. Let me make sure I can pin this down. How does open feeding work? And let me pull it up here. Let me get this out of here. How does open feeding work? So open feeding, like I said, it's what you do whenever you're during a dearth and you want to try to deter the bees from robbing other beehives. It helps them not do that. So that's just one thing. It just basically helps keep the hives on one thing. It stimulates that there is a flow going on. It stimulates that, okay, we got a flow. We don't need to go rob other hives. If you don't have that, well, you're going to go rob other hives. So thanks for the $20 donation. I appreciate it. And anybody, you guys weren't here, we were able to have super stickers on here. So what that is, you can donate. I've already talked about it, but anybody who does want to donate, that helps out the channel a lot. It helps me out. It helps the channel. It just helps everything. We're able to get that, finally, YouTube channel's been going on. I actually started up doing really good in about a year ago. And I started these live chats about eight months ago, about around there. So we'll be hitting 1 year in the next couple of months. I can't believe that we've been doing these live chats for almost a year. We're getting there. We're getting close to it. About 3-4 months to go. We'll be there at 1 year. I don't know if we're doing anything for that. Maybe we will. Maybe I'll do a special live chat, give away some stuff for a 1 year anniversary. Who knows? Y'all just stay tuned on that. I have no idea what's going to be in store for that. I do got a couple other things I will talk about. And if you guys got any more questions, please put them in there. That'll be good. Buckets are fine. Lots of different ways to feed. Main thing is to do if your bees need it. And that's one thing, too. That's really good. If your bees need it, use whatever. And a lot of times, what you can also do is get a tub and fill it with pine straw. Pack it in with pine straw and then pour your sugar water in there. The pine straw will float to the top. Bees can walk on that like it was like round, but they won't drown. It's a really good way. Another way to feed from the top. A lot of beekeepers feed from the top. It is really good. Really good thing for that. And whenever this doesn't really relate to what I'm about to talk about, but Jeremy says, Sharon, it's to me, it's like watching hummingbirds feeders. Whenever you're talking about hummingbird feeders, I heard from this guy in Dauphin, or we just saw like a post on it. It's just a rare, not a beekeeper, and there's a beekeeper next door, and he had a bird feeder out like on the thing on the wall. I don't have the pictures or anything, but they go to the bees went to that, and they were covered on top of that trying to get that nectar, because in that it tastes, it's sweet, kind of like nectar. Hummingbird feed you get from places, or sometimes people even use sugar for that. I don't know what's in that uh hummingbird feeder, but I found it kind of interesting. And that person that was not a beekeeper never had that problem. So that tells you from whenever you hear about it, and right when you hear about it, you're like, that means this year's gonna be a bad dearth because we don't have much things blooming. But right now we got some things starting up blooming. We're doing okay, maybe, hopefully. We're hopefully going to have a good fall harvest. We're all hoping for a good fall harvest. If I don't get a good fall harvest, well, then we're on to next year. We're going to try to get a spring harvest. My original goal was to get to about 20 hives right after I did all the splits. But now that my numbers are going down, but since everything like that's going down, it's just a little how everything works out. Is there any more questions? I don't know if I missed any. I've just been talking. It's Apis control for sugar water. That's right. Apis biocontrol. Biocontrol is what I used for the sugar water. And cotton land. That's a great thing for small ones to ensure they bulk up for winter. Yeah, that's I've heard that. That's a cool little trick that you can do there. There's a lot of different ideas for open feeding. Just kind of a lot of different techniques. I found out really good about beekeeping is there is more than one way of doing things, and more ways to feed your bees. And I want to get to this next topic. I want to talk about mites, mite treatments, testing for mites, everything that goes for mites. And it's not just to teach, but for me, what I'm doing. And a lot of times, right now in July is whenever the mite levels start peaking. You know what I mean? It goes up until the it just goes up until it just goes very high. Your mite levels just go up too high, and But I want to get to the donation. I appreciate you, Sharon, for donating $100. I really appreciate that. I'll definitely use that for Abavar. I really appreciate it. Anybody, I appreciate Sharon very much, definitely. But back to what I was talking about. That whenever your mite levels start peaking up until they get to the top, and then you get into fall, then you get into winter, and then they're pretty much really high. And there's a little discussion being made that a lot of times the I don't know what you call it, South Alabama, southern states can deal with more mites rather than northern states, but I really, really don't know if that's even a thing. I really think it is important to control your mite levels. It's really important, and that's why we gotta get some Apivar, and we're gonna treat all the hives here, treat some nukes that I need to be getting treated for, because I'm gonna be selling one of those. So I don't want to sell any nukes that have too many mites in it. You never want that. So treat them and then sell them. That's the best thing to do for that. And that's just kind of how everything pretty much turns out. And then what you can do is you can test them. So we do this combination: test, treat, and test. And I have not tested yet, and I'm not yet ready to do that yet because it is It's been 95, 105 on the heat index, something around there. Let me pull up our weather and see what we're going to be experiencing for the next day, couple of days on the stuff. Um, um, let's see here. Daily 92, 94. Saturday's coming up weekend, 95 degrees, and the heat index probably going to be around 105. So there's no way I really don't want to go out there and be safe and that and go to each hive and test them all the time. So what I'm gonna do is I'll probably pick the coolest day of the week, or I'll do it around this time, 5:30, 6 o'clock when it's more cooler, and the day it's hot. Of course, the bees are gonna be much more mad at me because it is more late and all the workers are back at the hive doing their thing, coming back on their foraging flights, and I love getting to the hives at 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 12 a.m., 10 a.m., no earlier than 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. because bees are still in there. And I love going out there around 1 a.m. because it really is, it's just bees, all the foragers are pretty much out, and those are older bees, which are the ones that are more meaner, and then all the younger bees are in there. There's still some feisty bees in your hive, but it just makes for a much more easier in hive inspection. I think most everybody will agree with me there. It's really, really easy, and it's real good, really good to do that. And I got to test and then treat, get some Abavar. May try some other treatments, maybe Formic Pro. I know Bruce down there in Dothan, Alabama. We had Bruce's bees on here. It was fun chat because me and him are really close together. We need to do a video sometime together, collab or something. That'd be pretty cool. One day, y'all see that. One day, once I get to town. I've just been really busy with the bees. Once it gets into fall and everything, whenever there's a flow, there'll be a lot more going on. And I've not been really good on the videos. I try to upload videos every 48 hours. It's not always possible because since we're having all this trouble with beetles and robbing, that's just one thing. But yeah, mites, probably good to go ahead and treat them. And if you have double deep, you put 2 in each deep. Of course, it ain't necessary, but a lot of times that's what the company says for it. And also, I want you guys to tell me in the comments, how does like the audio sound on outside, because there's noises going on around here. I just want to know if the mic is doing a good job at keeping that noise out. I really don't know. You guys let me know if audio is good. And the reason why I picked this spot was it just was one of the best spots out here. You got a little black table out here. A lot of times, sometimes whenever we go outside, we will have eat snacks and stuff out here. Maybe lunch. It is good. Good. Thanks. Just want to make sure audio, everything's good. Sounds good. Vincent and Ken, good. Glad it sounds good. This is a little mic right here. This is mic. What is it? It's called Audio Pro. I got that to improve audio on these live chats, and it does do a really good job at it. We got a question here from Sam, and this is kind of bee related question. It kind of isn't. Hey Grayson, have you ever shown everybody your property is there? I'm curious to see how it is laid out. Thank you. So around here we live on 40 acres. I can't really describe it that good. We have pine trees everywhere. As you can see in every single one of my videos, you can see a whole bunch of pine trees. And we live out in the country, and we don't live in the city or anything. And it's great to live out in the country. If anybody who lives out in the country on 40 acres, you're going to know what I mean. It's really fun. We have chickens. Just a quick backstory of what we have going on here. We have chickens, and this also goes related into bees. And the reason so is my bee yard's right here, and this is like on the right side of the property. The left side of the property, on the far left corner, that's where the creek is, and that's where the creek flows down into a bigger pond, which is more of our property, or was some. So do the frogs. yeah, we got effects back here. So y'all, whenever I do this, you'll hear frogs, you'll hear birds. I think it really sounds good. But that's kind of how everything's laid out. I hope that gives you a good idea on how the bees are set up. And that's a big bee question, even though it didn't feature any bees in it, because having knowing how everything's laid out in a bee yard and different locations is really good. So, like I said, our property is 40 acres. One side of the 40 acres is our main bee yard. Bee yard is about 120 feet away from here. I'm gonna guess. Just a random number, somewhere around there, 100 feet away from our house, and and uh, and in our left side of the corner, that's where our other bee yard is called the Creek Bee Yard. I nicknamed it the Creek Bee Yard. Probably guineas. Yep, you probably hear the guineas, and that's why I try to do my live chats inside. It's because the guineas will chirp all day long, and it just doesn't sound good for the audio. So that's why I was wondering if this thing would reduce the noises. I don't know if it does, but maybe it helps the audio. But yeah, guineas. We have guineas on here on the farm. We have chickens. We do a lot of things on here in the countryside. And during winter, we do hunting. So down at the creek, that's where we'll hunt, for deer and stuff. That's what we do that in the winter. Whenever there's no activity, good to have something during winter to do when you don't have no activity with the honeybees. Another thing I do during winter is get everything situated for spring and take care of the bees, of course. Is there any final questions? We're here at 52 minutes. Is there any more final questions? Would love to answer 10 more questions. If you guys could pump in 10 questions, that would be good. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely to hear all the background noises of the farm chickens. We were hatching what do you call it? Um, Guineas and just guineas. Um, don't change a thing. Yeah, definitely. Sounds of nature is one of the best things to have. And I don't want to have all this editing stuff. Of course, whenever I'm doing videos, I may not really, want all those audio problems in there. But, still sounds good. But during live chats, I think it sounds perfect because we're live. We're live streaming. And it's good to hear all the nature. And it is getting kind of dark. Is there any more final questions before I wrap up? Because I don't want it to get pitch black out here while we're doing the live stream. Is there any more questions? Because I know we have 35 people in here. We have some good donations. I also want to say another thanks to Sharon and everybody else. I can't mention all the names because I can't remember it in my head. Actually, I can go back over here. Rachel, Douglas, Ken, and Sharon. I appreciate everybody who donates because that helps the YouTube channel, helps me get more things for beekeeping, maybe other things. It helps out, and yeah, that just does help out a lot. I do appreciate everybody who supports the channel. And I'm gonna be trying to get more videos and more live chats out here. It's to be more fun out here. We'll try to get some more topics lined up for the future. And there's a lot of little newer names in here tonight. Like, let me see who were in here that was newer. Cottonland Apiary, very newer in here. Jeremy, a lot of new people joining in. So anybody who's new in here in the live chats, anybody new here in the live chats, I do these live streams every Monday night, mostly every Monday night. If I don't miss it, at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, I do these live chats. They are really fun. I have a blast at doing them. I'll also have some guests. I also got some guests I have in my mind that I want to have, and we have 5 more minutes. Is there any more final questions? Any more? We got one question there, but first, I want to be able to encourage you guys to sting or smash the thumbs up. That helps out the channel up. Helps the channel out. And look there, we got Bruce. Hey Bruce, how you doing? we're talking. I was just talking a little bit about how everything's going on down here. Good to see you. Also talking about how Brian may get 50 hives. We're joking around about that. Too bad Brian wasn't in here around that time. I could see that was funny. Oh, we always get a laugh out of that. It's always something that we found funny. All right, we got a question here from Tim. Um, never. Hey Tim, good to see you. Or I think I already said hey, but anyway, did you catch any swarms this year, Grayson? And I have. I have caught it. I caught one this year, and that was the swarm hive. It did extremely well. We got it in a double deep, and it just did extremely well. I really liked it. It did fine. Um, and we had a blast catching that out of a 5-gallon pail bucket. Can you guys believe that 5-gallon bucket? Finding a swarm or a little, I guess we'd call it cutout. Basically, I extracted the comb, put it on a frame, put it in there. They grew fast from a 5-frame nuke 10-frame box to a double deep. I split all of them. Splits are doing okay. And anybody who's new here, if you guys don't know any of the updates about what's going on with the splits and queens, we're raising queens out of 10 grafts. I got about 6 or 7 of them. So that's a 60, 65, 70% take. Hey, I'll take it any day, right? I can't pass that up any time of the day. Just unloaded some bees from a trailer with a skid steer. They were not happy. New spot. They are thriving out here. That's good. Yeah, moving a lot of bees, new locations. Yeah, I bet the bees were not happy. Oh, that's what bees always. Sometimes will get agitated, but beekeeper. I think I've always think that. I think bees down south are a little bit more spicy. I think all of us can um that have that. So yeah. There's a man down the road that has some bees in the top of a camper. Can you get them? I sure can. That must be. Yes, we're going to have a call from another bee call. So if we go down there and get those bees, which I'm sure we will, if they are bees, make sure that they're still there and they're cut out. I'm going to try to take a camera up there and do a video of that. I think that'd be really fun to get that knocked out and do that. I thought there was another question up here. Well, I think that is almost about it. I do want to say again, thanks for everybody who's coming on. We're at 51, 58 minutes. I'll go for a little longer. We're going to go ahead and cut it off because I know a lot of people have things to do. I'll take 1, 2 more questions. If anybody has a final question, pops in their head that, okay, I want to ask this question, might want to go ahead and do it now. Or you can wait till next live chat to save any questions that you have then. Because we'll be live next week, hopefully, as long as no plans get interrupted for that. We'll go live next week. I think that'll be fun. We got up to 36, 37 viewers in here tonight. It was a fun live chat. I wasn't expecting much people in here tonight. And it's good to see new faces in here. So I think these live chats are getting out there to more folks. So I appreciate everybody who's coming in. And I appreciate anybody with the super stickers. That's right. On videos, if you like what you sing, we appreciate it. We do. And Self Mapper. That's actually, I want to clarify this. This is my brother Vincent. He's behind scenes right now, taking care of the live chat, making things go according to plan. Because I'm here looking at talking to the camera, a little bit reading comments, and I can't see all. Like sometimes we'll have things coming that are not good. But what is the largest hive you've had? Population. Oh, I think the swarm hive. I must say the swarm hive probably was the most populated. It was full of bees. It really was. It was just packed full of bees. I can't believe how many bees were in there. If you guys hear that noise right there, some kind of noise going on right there, and I don't know what that was, but nature sounds, right? But yeah, I think the swarm hive in population, probably about 40,000 bees, maybe 50, 60,000 bees. Who knows? Thank you, Sam. Yeah, definitely. We'll go ahead and end this thing up. I appreciate everybody jumping in. Go ahead and click the thumbs up to help support me on the Wildwoods Honeybee Farms YouTube channel. Thank you, Catherine and my mom over there for the, let's just add it up to $40. We appreciate it on the channel. Help us out. We use that for future things on who knows. You'll see one day, because I'll do a video about Apivar, and I'll shout out whoever donated all this, and they'll help that. That'll definitely be something really good. But I think I should go and wrap it up for tonight, because it's getting dark and I gotta eat supper, and kind of after all this stuff, a lot of talking, a lot of different things going on. Been out in the BR today, hot as usual. Always hot in the BR. But anyway, thank you everybody for coming on. I appreciate everybody for the donation. I can't thank everybody enough. We appreciate everybody coming on here. Until next week, next Monday night at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Central, we'll catch you guys on the next beekeeping video or a beekeeping live chat. You guys take care. Be safe. We'll catch you guys on the next live chat or a video. Thanks, everybody.